Okay, so today's question is, how could fibroids interfere with the ability to get pregnant? How do I reduce them? And is surgery always necessary? Hey there, welcome to Ask the Fertility Experts, a daily Q&A show where we'll be answering your fertility questions. I'm Sarah Clark, founder of Fab Fertile. We specialize in low AMH, high FSH, diminished ovarian reserve, and premature ovarian insufficiency or failure. I will be joined by Dr. Tabatha Barber. She is triple board certified in obstetrics, gynecology, menopause, and functional medicine. If you have a question, simply go to Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram, leave me a DM and drop your question there, and we will answer your question on an upcoming show. That's Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram. Take care. Okay, so today's question is, how could fibroids interfere with the ability to get pregnant? How do I reduce them? And is surgery always necessary? Dr. Tabatha.
Okay, so I do not usually recommend surgery for fibroids. That is a very invasive surgery, and it can often prevent you from being able to carry a pregnancy afterwards. So fibroids are, you have two different types of tissue in the uterus. You have the muscle layer, which is the major part of it. And then you have the endometrial lining inside that grows every month and bleeds off as your period. And that's where the baby would implant. That's the endometrial lining. But the myometrium, or the meat of it, is actually muscular tissue. And fibroids are those muscular cells growing dysfunctionally. And so fibroids are very vascular. They have a lot of blood supply. They're very hard and dense, like muscle is. And they can grow in a number of different ways. They can grow in the cavity where the baby would normally be growing and developing. And that would definitely impact your ability to carry a pregnancy because it's physically in the way. And if the placenta tries to grow and attach where that fibroid is, it can compete with blood flow to the baby. So that can cause like low birth weight and, growth restriction and things like that. It can be more in the meat or the muscle of that and not in the cavity. Sometimes that causes heavy periods, pain, cramping. It almost always doesn't interfere with pregnancy. Unless they are big and distorting and pushing on things. You can get a fibroid growing on the outside layer called the serosal or pedunculated. Those don't usually cause an issue. I have had a couple patients over my career that those fibroids outgrew their blood supply during pregnancy, and they ended up with emergency surgery because it was so painful and they were dying. So it's good to monitor those during pregnancy if you do have fibroids, but they almost always are okay unless they are big or in the cavity. And fibroids are driven by estrogen and inflammation. And so you want to keep your bad estrogen in check. And that you do that by making sure your liver can metabolize your estrogens, keep that liver functioning well. Don't drink alcohol, take diindomethane, eat your cruciferous vegetables, all of that. Keep your bowels moving regular and have good microbiome. There's actually bacteria in our gut that produces an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase, and they will actually cut the garbage tag off the estrogen that you're trying to get rid of so that you reabsorb it. And so that can elevate your estrogens. So you want to make sure you got good bacteria living in there. And then if you're constipated, that increases the time that you have to reabsorb those estrogens. So you want to make sure that stool's moving out every day. Otherwise, you're reabsorbing all the stuff you don't want to. And so get on a good quality high fiber diet, add fiber supplements to your regimen, do whatever you got to do, take magnesium every day. You got to get those bowels moving. So if you can keep your estrogen in check and your inflammation under control, oftentimes those fibroids won't be an issue.
Yeah, you want to, many times we think it's normal to go every couple of days, whereas you want to, 1 to 3 times a day to really eliminate those toxins, which is key. Many times we're chronically dehydrated, so getting enough water. Can you talk about DIM for people and why they would take that to help with, help move the excess estrogen out of the body?
Yeah, I love DIM, and diindolylmethane, that's what it stands for, is a compound in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, all those good vegetables. And it's like a highly concentrated supplement form of it. But that actually helps your liver with its detox pathways so that you can get rid of these estrogens that you're done using. We have, we make three main types of estrogen. We make them in our ovaries, our fat cells, our adrenals, all over our body. But sometimes we metabolize them and turn them into other forms we don't necessarily want around. And so our liver needs to be able to handle that and get rid of them and send those to our gut to be eliminated. And so a lot of times I will see estrogen issues show up as, someone who has a fatty liver, a sluggish gallbladder. All of a sudden they're having right upper quadrant pain when they eat. They're diagnosed with gallstones. They're carrying excess weight and their periods are crazy heavy. That's a typical picture of you making too much estrogen, reabsorbing it, not metabolizing it. And so DIM is fabulous for getting it at least moving through your liver and getting it to your gut better. Then you add calcium D-glucarate to wipe out that enzyme that I was talking about so that you're not reabsorbing it. And then you add the fiber so that you can poop every day and get things moving. So there's a lot of things you can do to get that estrogen in check. But I love DIM. I think it's, it's safe and it's just helpful for liver function, period. So
Thanks so much for being here. If you've got a question that you want answered, simply go to Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram, send me a DM, and we will answer your question on an upcoming show. That's Fab Fertile Inc. and send me a DM. And please refer to our disclaimer below. Take care.